how it kind of started was like a lot of people don't know this, but which is weird, but like Chinese were the ones that invented sushi technically. And so what they would do is they would take fish, put rice around it, and they would bury it in the ground for like 3 months. And they would let the fish ferment, and then they'd break the rice off of it, and they'd eat the fermented fish that way.
No way.
And so the Japanese were like, we love this flavor, we love this thing, but how do we do it faster?
Mm-hmm.
And so that's when like the rice vinegar kind of came about, and like doing it that way.
I never would have guessed that's how it started.
So crazy.
Yeah.
And they're all about like fermenting vegetables or fish or whatever, because if you think about it, like there's no refrigeration.
Mm-hmm.
So you had to either ferment it or eat it really quickly.
Right. And so, and correct me if I'm wrong, so like the American sushi culture is on the fresh side of things, like eating it quickly, like for the preparation and stuff. Is that right? Or is there any fermenting that still goes on?
Well, I mean, so your soy sauce is fermented.
Okay, gotcha.
So like they take soybeans
mm-hmm.
and they ferment it to a certain point, and that's how you get miso.
Okay.
And then like kind of the disregarded part of making miso was where soy sauce came from. And so it was like this, like the runny goo that came away from the fermented soybean part.
Oh, wow.
And that's where soy sauce came from.
Yeah.
So, but then obviously since then they have these huge places. They make soy sauce and mass produce it.
Yeah.
You know, and it's a thing. But like it was kind of,
it's like a byproduct of what they were actually trying
exactly.
to do. Wow. Holy smokes, that's so cool.
The U.S. thing, obviously fresh fish became a thing. So
mm-hmm.
in Japan, as far as sushi goes, when they got to a point, there's 3 groups of fish, how they categorize it. You have your red fish, which is like, it's the closest thing to red meat. So you have your tuna,
mm-hmm.
And a lot of your game fish. They bleed a little bit more.
Okay.
And in the old days, that was more trash fish, because like when it has such a high blood content, because they're a bigger animal,
mm-hmm.
It goes bad faster.
Okay, that makes total sense. Yep.
You have your blue fish, which are like more like fish that have like very silvery skin. What's in that? What I'm trying to think of what would be in that category. I think salmon are even though it's like an orange, but salmon are technically considered a blue fish, and then you have your white fish, which back then would be considered like the best of the best. And now whitefish is like the lower end. So you have your red snapper, things like that, because they go bad less fast.
This is so intriguing,
I know.
dude. I never would have thought that that's the case. So it's complete flip-flop now.
And now tuna is like the biggest thing in the world. It's like $1 million bluefin tuna.
Yeah. I watch those shows where they catch tuna, and then they take it in and they get the sample, the core sample or whatever. And so intriguing. All I know is that, dude, when they fillet open that tuna and you see all of that thick red meat, oh my gosh, my mouth starts watering. I love it so much.
And it's incredible. And what's awesome with us is that we overnight all of our fish from Hawaii. And so it's never frozen.
Mm-hmm.
And so when it comes in, like I get this huge side, which I usually get about 15 pounds at a time.
Mm-hmm.
And we go through it that fast. We just never freeze it. And so I get that huge chunk, and it's just like, I cut it, and I've gotten.
That's beautiful, man.
It's amazing,
like, yeah. It's like so thick, and it's just meat, like just solid meat. It's so incredible.
Next time I do I do it basically every other day, sometimes every day, depending how busy you are. But like, I'll shoot you a message, and just come down. It's pretty cool, because it's so I can do it so fast now. I've been doing it for so long, but it's such a it's amazing, man.